934, solve each equation. Identify the solutions as rational or irrational numbers. Alrighty, so to solve this, I'm going to distribute the x. So we get 3x squared minus 4x equals 5. I'm going to bring the 5 over, so we get 3x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. So we see that we have a quadratic and we want to try and solve it. We have factoring, completing the square, quadratic formula, and I think quadratic formula is going to be the way to go. We have a coefficient here, so that makes completing the square difficult, and this number doesn't go into 4, so definitely quadratic formula. So x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3 times negative 5. And that's all divided by 2 times 3. So now we want to use our calculator to kind of simplify. And so this is going to be 4 plus or minus, and negative 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 3 times negative 5 is 76, square root 76, divided by 6. Okay, so now this is where we simplify. The 76, I believe 4 goes into it, yeah. And so we're going to get x equals 4 plus or minus 2 square root 19 divided by 6. Okay, so now this is where I've been telling you guys we need to simplify this further, and you could do it a couple different ways. I'm going to factor what's in common out this way first. So between 2 and 4, what do we have in common? We have 2. So then you have 4, so you have 2 times 2 plus or minus square root 19, all divided by 6. So then this is going to simplify to x equals 2 goes into 6 3 times, so you get 2 plus or minus the square root of 19 divided by 3. And so that's essentially your answer, and you're going to get two solutions, right? You're going to get x equals 2 plus the square root of 19 divided by 3, and you're going to get x equals 2 minus the square root of 19 divided by 3. So these are definitely irrational solutions. Irrational. And if we want to graph them, though, we would convert them to a decimal. So this would be 2 plus the square root of 19, and then divided by 3. And so this would be roughly 2.11, actually 212. And then 2 minus square root 19, and then divided by 3 is negative 0.79. Okay. All right, so now the second problem, and mind you guys, I've showed you a lot of steps in here, mostly just so you can follow my work. Some of these steps you can, I think a lot of you guys could probably go from here down to here pretty easily. I'm just showing the steps kind of so you guys see the process of how I'm getting from one point to the other. All right, so B is a little different problem. It's in vertex form. So what I'm going to do to solve it is just take the square root of both sides. So if I take the square root of this side, I take the square root of this side. So this is 3x minus 2 equals plus or minus 1/2. And then this will be what? 3x equals 2 plus or minus 1/2. And then x equals 2 plus or minus 1/2 divided by 3. Alright, so then my solutions are going to be x equals 2 plus 1/2 divided by 3, and it's going to be x equals 2 minus 1/2 divided by 3. And so I'm just going to keep it as fractions just to practice fractions. If you're going to add these, you need a common denominator, right? So that's going to be 4 halves. So 4 halves plus 1 half is 5 halves. And then divided by 3 is actually, right, divide by 3 is actually the same thing as 5 halves times 1/3, which is going to be what? 5/6. Okay, so there's one answer. This is going to be 4 halves minus 1 half, which is going to be 3 halves. And this is going to be 3 halves divided by 3, which is really 3 halves times 1/3. The 3's cancel, and so your answer is 1 half. And again, you could punch these on your calculator and make them decimals. I'm just practicing working with fractions. So these are definitely rational numbers because we have ratios of integers, rational numbers.